took at least 9 that we know about. And I'm not speculating because he told this to me himself.
God has a funny way of showing you lessons.
Today it's time to stop singing and start swinging.
I just need you to know that I see you and I'm proud of you. I need you to remember that you royal and we proud.
I know y'all feeling that. I know you're feeling that. I know you feeling that, man. But anyway, we gonna make it up out the hood one day. Checks and Balances is out. 9 Wives is out. You guys just saw that. And let's just talk about this really quick. You guys don't listen to me. You guys says you can't trust Adrian Broner because he lost to Maidana, because he lost to Pacquiao. So we shouldn't listen to your ass because you lost your first wife. You lost your first job. You know what I mean? But you trust the bum on the corner that give you that word of advice a couple times a year. Hey, we're just full of contradictions. So am I at times, I guess. Well, let's do the math, y'all. Let's do the math. Jermall Charlo fight canceled. Back injury. All right. Then according to David Benavidez, next week he's on Instagram Live drunk. Jake Paul canceled. Let me explain something to you guys, especially as it pertains to Jake Paul. If they would have sold out the Madison Square Garden, they would have found a replacement opponent like it was nothing. Trust me when I say that. And as a matter of fact, because of COVID, Showtime for the past 3 years has always had a backup opponent. Past 2.5 years, excuse me. Especially for their main event. Remember Darwin Price came in here and said he was the backup for Robert Guerrero. He weighed in and got paid. Remember in Vegas? He came in the shop and said he was the backup opponent, but he had to weigh in. And Errol Spence and Steven Espinoza told Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford they had to be more realistic. We're at a standstill. See, y'all can go anywhere else and just get the news and just accept what they feed you. Frederick Hawthorne breaks it all the way down and gives you the actual facts. And because we're so narrative driven, we're so headline driven that we choose not to seek the truth. TSL 12,000 tickets yesterday. It looked like they just had the lower bowl open. Danny Garcia at Barclay and Adam Kanaki and Vito Melanicki. That's terrible. Vito Melanicki had 2,000 people when he debuted on Shakur Stevenson. Remember, he was a 17-year-old high school senior. Remember that story? And then he had his own pay-per-view. Then he had his own date for Christmas. Remember that? And he comes back as a YouTube headliner. Yeah, I don't see the tea leaves. They trying, but they failing. They didn't have a plan. Showtime's personalities of the fight is old. They need you know what Showtime needs? Showtime needs a trainer. I'm going to throw out some names. Kevin Cunningham, Breadman. I would even say some boxers, man. Cunningham out of Philadelphia. Steve, USS Cunningham. Austin Trout. They don't have an expert there. Abner Mares is not experienced enough. And Abner Mares don't have enough confidence on the mic to really, really say what he say. He's not confident. He's very safe. And they just need someone that speaks now. Adam Bernstein he's like in him and remember Rory Firestone that used to come on ESPN and did the show. That's who Al Bernstein is. Like we have moved on. Like it's completely different now in how we communicate to the audience now in all sports for that matter. That's why you have these guys. I was trying to think of some names like Stuart Scott, um, First Take, Undisputed. There's a cadence now to reaching your audience, and I don't think Showtime is vibrating on that level. I think their blow for blow is average. I think Marlo. I think he's run it. I think he's run his course. You understand what I'm saying? I don't think that he doesn't say it from a I've lived that life perspective. He says it from like I read books and I listen to music perspective. Like, I don't believe he's in a boxing gym in the middle of the week. I don't even think he's been to a boxing gym in years. I just got that feeling from him. And I'm saying that anyways, that's a whole nother video, man. That's a whole separate video. But the point I want to make is the money's funny, y'all. And it's been funny. The writing is on the wall. And let me explain something to y'all. Fans, I'm separating myself from y'all. Black fans, Mexican fans, black fans, Mexican fans, white fans, Asian fans, racist fans, pro-black fans, Mexican bandana fans. We have failed boxing if we don't put pressure on Steven Espinoza to make this fight. Al Heyman's not visible, but PBC. If you're not using your platform as a media member to apply pressure on the men in suits, why are you in this? If you're active on Twitter and you have a Twitter handle and you're not putting pressure on them to make this fight, you're wrong. The coolest dude in the room, Frederick Hawthorne, the coon. The coonest dude in the room. That should be my new handle. The cooniest dude. The cooniest, because I'm the corniest and I'm the coon. The cooniest. I like that. The cooniest. Brought Bob Arum on and held him accountable. The cooniest nigga in the room brought on the WBC president and held him accountable. For who? Was it Devin Haney? I get it. Y'all niggas just talking. I'm really doing this shit. And whoever falls in line next falls in line. When Carissa, man, listen, I have stood tall so many times, and sick people online are too afraid to take. They can't even buy a $30 ticket to the fight. But they're in your comment section telling you what you should do with your money. How about you take a picture at a fight and post it? And that's why you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. If I don't say anything, Fred, what's up, man? I thought you were pro-black. And then if I interview somebody you don't like I forget the young lady's name out in Washington, I'm a coon for interviewing her. But you got a white boss and white coworkers. Explain that theory. So every white person on your job is pro-black. Man, that's why that pro-black shit is an epic failure, man. Love your people, man. Love the people around you, man. And this is a clear example of how they manipulate people, and they create narratives. Like they'll pick somebody. So let's say hypothetically, boxing picked me, right? Boxing says, "Hey, Fred, you're on the in crowd." You know what people do on the in crowd? You know what they do? They align themselves with the people they'll never be. You'll never be Stephen Espinoza. You'll never be Al Heyman. You'll never be Bob Arum. You'll never be Eddie Hearn. They always gonna give you a free sandwich. You can only sit at their table if they're serving you. You'll get that when you're driving home one day, a year from them. Oh, no, I mean like heavy. You will only sit at their table. They will only allow you to sit at their table if they're serving you. But we fall for the acceptance. I'm cool, man. They follow your Instagram. They know you love taking pictures with boxers and celebrities, and you're an ass kisser, and they know that shit. So they pick you. They never pick you by accident. Do you think it's by accident the fans hate me and boxing business hates me? Do you think that's by accident or by design? You pick, you decide. It doesn't change me one way or the other. So I'm telling you guys, like I told you guys last year, like I told you guys yesterday, like I told you guys last month, the money's funny. Very funny. Jake Paul, don't you know that was the plan the whole time? How about if they had sold 70% capacity going in the fight week? Do you think they would have found an opponent for Jake Paul? Shall we go back to last August, a year ago? Earl Spence, detached retina. They pull up your Danis Ugas. Interesting, right? Very interesting. Tickets were sold. Pay-per-views were bought. And Manny's contract was guaranteed. So you know what they did? They filled that void. Possibly saved Manny Pacquiao's life. I mean, Earl Spence would have put him in the dirt. But y'all keep playing your victim social status and favorite fighter or favorite promoter Olympics. You're failing as a media outlet. You're failing as a fan. You're failing as a critic, as a writer. Because if you're not applying pressure on Earl Spence, Terrence Crawford's middleman, which is Stephen Espinoza, president of Showtime Sports, and Al Heyman, but you would put pressure on Eddie Hearn to make the Deontay Wilder Anthony Joshua fight. You will put pressure on Bob Arum to make Devin Haney, at that time, Teofimo Lopez fight. Ask yourself why. Right? If I want to make this well-rounded, I don't want no fighter fan base being unturned in this video. If you wasn't mad at Andy Ruiz for gaining 30 to 40 pounds in the rematch against Anthony Joshua and you didn't speak on it, you're doing a disservice to the sport of boxing. Just keeping it a buck. All the black and Mexican fans should stand tall right now and say, make the fight. Or else, what, Fred? You pull your subscription from Showtime. That's where we should be, period. It should be we've been waiting for this fight for 5 years, y'all. Not that every day, but it's been building for this moment, and we're here. So we got to say, either you lose $20 million, either you take I'm not even going to say you lose. Either you take a $20 million risk on one fight, or you lose $20 million a month from us unsubscribing until you make the fight. But we scared. I know black fans are scared. Are the Mexican fans scared? Are the Mexican fans scared? Are the white fans scared? Just asking. This is the one time where we can be united as a fan base, as a complete boxing fan base, and not play divisive politics for once. This is the fight everyone wants to see. Every boxing fan wants to see this fight. This is the one time where we can be united. This ain't the blue United States of America. This ain't the red United States of America. This is the United States of America. That's what the first black president of America said. So the choice is ours. We can stay in our box and be divisive, or we can stand up and say, you either make that fight or fuck you. I'm keeping it a buck. Let's see where we're at with this, man. I'm very interested. If you pulled your Showtime, everyone should pull their Showtime subscription until Crawford and Spence is made. Period. There's no other fight in boxing we really, really want to see. No. There's no other fight that we deserve this fight. Boxing deserves this fight. Fans, we deserve this fight. We deserve to be excited for 90 days. We put in 5 years of work. We deserve to have a 90-day buildup. Remember Floyd Manny Pacquiao was like, we finally got it. You go to the Food Network. But this is Manny Pacquiao's favorite dish. You go to the Travel Network. Floyd Mayweather visits it. They dominated the news. And guess what? It's going to build. It's going to build. This is the first time since Floyd and Manny Pacquiao that boxing can be unified. We finally can get what we deserve. Not what we want, what we deserve. How many months of Showtime subscription have you paid for and fallen asleep on a Saturday night watching a bogus fight? How many times have you complained about Bob Arum? Too many times to count. How many times have you called Fred a coon? Too many times to count. Well, this is the one time, and the one time only, you can say Fred's right. We're not going to be like Louis Farrakhan when he said justice or else. What happened to the or else part? Or else what? We say or else, and guess what? Oh, it ain't that important. Barbershop Conversations, man. Checks and Balances is an incredible film. 9 Wives is an incredible film. We going live tonight on this very subject. And I'm just going to speak to the coward in you tonight. You know what I mean? That's all. We're cowards, man.
He took at least 9 that we know about. And I'm not speculating because he told this to me himself.
God has a funny way of showing you lessons.
Today it's time to stop singing and start swinging.